In a small town in the United States, the ground suddenly shook violently, and an unknown object fell from the sky, instantly splitting a cow in two. The man was dumbfounded by the scene in front of him, woke up and slowly touched his hand to the front and realized it was a transparent glass cover. At this time, there are a few small birds crashed to the ground, and the neck of the birds is crash broken. Then this transparent wall must be ridiculously high up. At this time, there happens to be a plane passing by in the sky. No surprise, the plane hit the transparent wall, instantly exploded, and the cell phone at this time also lost the signal. They realized that the whole town was covered by the transparent wall. At this time, a fire truck in the distance was driving towards the barrier. The men rushed forward to stop the vehicle. The driver got out of the car in a rage and wanted to call to teach the men a lesson, but the barrier was instantly bounced back. The barrier cut off each other's voices, and the man had to write to communicate with them. Soon, the military arrived and began to investigate and study the barrier. They sprayed water on the barrier to test it, but were unable to penetrate the screen barrier. Toward the end of the night, a policeman approached the barrier when the heart starter inside him suddenly exploded and a man was killed. The town begins to panic, and some people open to try and escape the barrier. They came to a deep underground tunnel, but it was still blocked by the barrier. Seeing as how the barrier was not only ridiculously high, but also deep. Next, the town's resources were quickly depleted. People were ready to go to the river to get water, but at this point, the river was already contaminated. They hid some water back to test it, and a little bit with a match, and it caught on fire. It turned out to be the result of the barrier, cutting off the underground mining source. The withdrawal of the army at this time caused the people's discontent. People left painted graffiti on the barrier in protest, and then rushed into the store, began to frantically snatch water and food, and even fought over the food. At this point, the police threw tear gas into the crowd, but this did not stop the people from going crazy. Seeing that the situation was getting worse, the police had to pull out their pistols and were about to shoot when it suddenly started to rain. This brought everyone to their senses, and people started looking for something to catch the water. However, Jake realized that it was only raining inside the barrier, but not outside. It seems that this place has formed a separate climate. A woman was driving her car on the highway when an oncoming car suddenly crashed into a barrier. The front end of the car was instantly smashed to pieces, so the woman hurriedly braked and got out of the car to see what was going on. At that moment, the daughter behind her suddenly fainted. Her mouth kept saying weird words. The mom rushes her daughter to the hospital in town. At the hospital, Lisa runs into Jake, who is also experiencing symptoms. After examination, everything is normal for both of them, so the two decide to join forces to investigate the barrier. Jake feels that the dome has been shrouding the town, and that there must be mysterious forces that constantly function the dome. As luck would have it, they found a suspicious layer of leaf litter in the center of the dome. Jake touches it lightly and is immediately electrified back. It was certain that underneath was the dome's energy core, and the two rushed to set aside the leaves, with Lisa using water to wash away the dust on top. Sure enough, it was a small dome, different in that there was a black egg inside the glass enclosure. Jake yells at the creepy egg to get him to close the dome, but it doesn't respond. So they try to put their hands on it, not realizing that Lisa's mom has suddenly appeared behind them. Confused, Lisa removes her hand, at which point her mom also instantly disappears, sensing that something is wrong. Lisa rushed towards home, only to realize that her mother has been critically ill after arriving home. The government seems to be losing patience in the face of the increasingly confusing dome. The military plans to launch a nuclear bomb to blow up the dome, and they don't seem to care if it will affect the people inside the dome, as the time to launch the bomb is soon approaching. What about the people of the town, who can only hide in underground shelters and face the end of days with each other? A nuclear bomb is seen exploding over the dome. However, after the explosion, nothing happened to the town. The dome was still there, only the outside of the dome was in ruins. When they woke up, they found an extra caterpillar inside the small dome, and a few days later, the caterpillar transformed into a butterfly. Then, the butterfly kept bumping around inside the dome, and as it did, black patches began to appear on the dome. At this time, black patches also appeared in the dome that covered the town, and as more and more black color appeared, until the whole dome was completely covered. The town also turned from day to night. Faced with such a weird scene, Jake realized that he had to save the butterflies as soon as possible. At this time, 4 palm prints appeared on the dome, and Jake put his hands on them. At that moment, the black egg instantly emitted a dazzling white light, and then it shattered all over the place, leaving only a tiny black egg inside. At this time, Lisa looked at the butterfly and touched it with her hand, but unexpectedly the butterfly actually came to life. At this time, the small black egg also had a reaction, began to vibrate violently. With the darkness of the dazzling white light, the surrounding also began to produce violent shaking. At this moment, Lisa's friend reaches out and picks up the egg, and the violent shaking disappears. In order to unlock the secret of the black egg, several people took the egg to the woods where they found her. At this point, Lisa is holding the egg in her hand, and her dead mom reappears behind her. The other party tells Lisa that she is not her mother, but an alien. The reason why she took on her mother's face was to facilitate communication with humans. and the dome that shrouds the town was also put there by them to observe the humans. If the dome is to be opened, the little black egg must be protected. Several people threw the black egg into the lake in order to protect it. At that moment, a pink light emanated from the lake, and as the light slowly rose from the lake, the entire sky was suddenly illuminated in pink. Finally, the pink light gathered at the dome. The black patches gradually disappeared, and the dome returned to its original color. But it did not disappear.